here, and welcome to the final day of the mid-season invitational recap. I am recording this on the 13th of July. It's a Monday morning, 9:25 a.m. Yes, as you already know, that the mid-season invitational is already over, and unfortunately, we are going to be subjected to blood money tournaments for the EWC in the next couple of days. Oh man, it's what a life. Anyways, that is all the morality pretty much out of the way for some people. I will hold my values and say that I will be watching the highlights, but nothing more. Never more, never more, of course. So, normally I will be doing this on a Sunday, but I was just beaten down, of course. I went to work, spent time with my family, um, and then I was trying to do the review, trying to do all the kind of stuff, but it's like, nope, nope, sleep just got me. Sleep just literally got me. And unfortunately, I just cannot do it on a Sunday. So you know what? Why not? With a Monday and no World Cup until tomorrow, this is probably the perfect time for me to do the recap. Now, before I'm gonna do that, I have one problem and one probability. And I'm going to show you right now. I am going to show you right now. I'm going to show you the problem that we is right now. You see this? You see this number, ladies and gentlemen? This number right here? It says that we have 93 subscribers on this channel. Huh, 93 subscribers. Don't you have like 94? I did. Unfortunately, some nincompoop decided that, oh, this channel is not as worth my time. So I decided to press the unsubscribe button and just be my way. And you know what? I said, cool, cool, cool. You don't want to be part of the 100 subscriber party. You don't want to be subscribing to all of this great content that I've done in League of Legends, even though the content is not as pleasing on the eyes, nor HD quality, nor give you that incredible editing kind of software or something that I don't even do much of the time. You don't want all of that with all the stats and everything like that. You don't want me to tell me about the stories and news about League of Legends and all kind of stuff. You don't want any of these smoke? You know what? You know what? It's your free will. It's your free will. It's your free business. It is what it is. We're in a society, of course. We live in a society, of course. And if you do not want this channel to be good enough to reach the 100 subscribers or more, that's fine. That's fine. If this channel is not being advertised by blood money or prediction markets and it's not worth your time, I'm okay. I've made a promise that we do not want to do blood money in this thing, and I promise I do prediction markets, and I promise to go independent, and I did. All of this, all of this is 100% free. The only thing you got to do is just subscribe to this channel to go to do that for League of Legends content, and it's not worth your time. Just 2 clicks. It's like backyard baseball, of course. You don't pay for anything to play backyard baseball. You just pick up, play the game, unlock all the things. It is cool. It is the coolest thing ever. And I'm like Pablo right now. I'm the Pablo of this entire channel, of course. I do all the stuff all by myself, and it's cool, it's free, and all that jazz. So there's that. I am not saying that unsubscribing to the channel is bad. I'm just saying it's your free will. If you feel like this channel is not worth your time, yeah, it's just not worth your time. It is what it is, I guess. So, rambling out of the way, I wanted to also say thank you so much. This entire recap, and in fact, this entire recap was not made possible by you. Actually, it's made possible by you. You watching this thing, it doesn't matter if it's 20 views or 3 views, I don't care. You being part of this channel is amazing. You commented, subscribing, liking, sharing, viewing, all this kind of stuff. It's making this channel grow. And the fact that this is my very first completed tournament that I've done with all the recaps and stuff since last year, I think this is the first time. I think this is now the back-to-back years since I finished MSI. I think I did. Yeah, I finished both MSIs, of course, but I never got to finish a recap just like this. And consider that I didn't get a full recap after the hurricane, and I didn't do first stand as properly as I did. Of course, I did with shorts, of course, but I never even got to do some full length videos and some shorts about MSI, all the kind of stuff, and it was really cool. I never, and by the way, I never even done the news part of some of them, so apologies, of course, in advance, but it is what it is, of course. But I say thank you. Thank you so much for the recaps. Thank you so much for watching this entire thing. Thank you for the shorts. Thank you for everything like that. It has been much better. And yeah, I have to say, this has been a successful tournament for me in terms of the content and everything like that. And where do we go from here? Well, there's only one thing that is left in my resume, which is Worlds, which is something I didn't get to do since Hurricane Melissa just kind of destroy and ruin all my funk. So I never got to finish Worlds, of course. But now that we're in North America, a pleasant time zone for me, I get to watch all the matches and I get to do all the stuff. So if you really want more content from now until the Worlds begins and beyond, please subscribe to this channel so we can get to 100 subscribers and we could be fine. Now that is out of the way, of course, you've already seen the thumbnail, and yeah, there is a new mid-season invitational champion being crowned. Now, how do we got to that mid-season invitational champion? Well, normally I will have Mr. Poro decided to do the recap and all the stuff and everything like that, but since he decided to not skedaddle, it's fine. He has his own business. He decided that, he's got other content to do, and I can't blame him, of course. I decided to do this solo. I started this thing a little bit solo, and I'm going to end this thing solo. Yeah, so I'm gonna be finishing a recap by looking at this series between BLG and Hollow East from the statistical purpose, but also my thoughts. And yeah, I normally gonna do some highlights, but I decided, nah, people have some, how do I say this? The short attention span of a hamster sometimes, and they don't want to watch a 45-minute video. So I'm gonna try to make myself to keep it short and light, and trying to do my best, of course. And by the way, tomorrow that I'm going to do the superlatives. These are going to be some of the best performers, the worst performers, the great games, and of course, all pro MSI, first team, second team, all pro team, of course. And that is how we conclude MSI 2026 once and for all, and just close down the madness for this year. Okay, for this year, everybody. So, without further ado, it is time to say congratulations to the brand new mid-season invitational champion, Hanwha Live Esports. Yeah, they got it done. 3 games to 2 against BLG. And I have to say, and I'm going to say this on my shorts, I already said it in my short, that drafting and level 1 gameplay was kind of like their Achilles heel for BLG this entire series. I think this is going to be paraphrasing the Nightmare Rush stream with Initialize, of course, in the grand finals. But once Hunter Life Esports won game 1, it almost feels like BLG were on the back foot for the entirety of this series, especially when it comes to level 1 gameplay. The fact they've won the 2 series to go 2-1 up is incredible, but it's the same thing that happened to Lion. Pretty much the same thing happened in this series. Is that Honor Life Esports won that important game 4, and then game 5 was kind of like it went downhill. Although you could say that BLG kind of fight back in that game 5, it was pretty much downhill from there. Downhill from there. They did, yeah, yeah. And listen, it was a good finals. Let's be honest, it was a really good finals. It was an absolute pretty good finals, to be honest. I was not expected Hunter Life Esports to be prepared to draft well, to look decently good. Although you can say that I feel like Hunter Life Esports focus is more on BLG rather than Lion. It is what it is. But I would like to say that BLG did not do themselves proud. BLG did not do themselves proud in the drafting, in the game level 1s, and the players themselves did not perform well. You can say that Ben was not up to snuff against Zeus, of course, and Shun was the only bright spot. I can say that Shun, if BLG would have won this series, would have been my tournament MVP by a mile. the way he been stabilizing, the way he kind of make this jungle support brilliance work with on, and the way he smite steals, the way he dictate the play. He was pretty much my tournament MVP. Have BLG would have won, and unfortunately, he did not. And I feel jungle support was a huge difference in this series, a huge difference. And Knight was good. He was good, but he was not god tier, golden left hand, smack down every other team like its boss, kind of Knight. He was not ungodly in this entire tournament, which I don't listen. It just showcases that listen, Knight is still a good player, but he's just like we need like LPL MVP kind of Knight. We did not see that in this entire tournament throughout, and that hurts me because had Knight would have showed up in any of these like game one at least, maybe game four, we could have told a different story, of course, a different tale, of course. But he did not show up. He did not show up to this series. You can say that Viper and On were I think they're okay. I think Viper and On were okay. On was pretty good on the Shen, of course, in that game two victory. But beyond that, he was not on the races, of course. And yeah, I mean Gumayusi was outplaying them, and Gumayusi just outplayed both of them. Gumayusi was pretty good in that game. Pretty good in that game, of course. But you have to say that Viper just disappoints me. And let's be honest, Viper is never going to be the 80 carry of this entire team. He was never the 80 carry in this entire team. But the way that he performed in that finals, it's just like he was not really there, to be honest. Not really the main star. And that comes down to how good Gumayusi is, but pretty much the underperforming. So think you could say that I think you could say that drafting hurts them, level ones hurts them, early game hurts them, and then the players kind of underperform where they needed the most. So yeah, that really did BLG in. That really did BLG in. But you cannot say good praises about Hanwha Live Esports and that performance today. They were well prepped. They were well documented. They were playing decently well. Even when they're down 2-1, they never buckle as they did against Lion. They got the mentality fortitude to do it, and they got the players like Zeus and Zeka. I know you can say that Zeka did not have a great series, in my opinion. I think he kind of threw away one of those games, of course. But Zeus was like even kill, clutchness, on point, and he was probably the main reason why he won tournament MVP because of that. He probably one of the best players on this Honda Life Esports team. Yeah, pretty much the entire time. And you could say that Kanavi was like the second, of course, but he kind of had those oopsie games, of course. Zeka was okay, but never like up there. Gumayushi was good. But never like dominant, of course. The light was hit or miss. I think Zeus was like the most constant, brilliant player this entire tournament. He was really good in some of the big moments. He was pretty good in the lane, and of course, the Swain games, the both Sway games in games four, both Lion against BLG was huge. Without them, I think Honda Life Esports would never be MSI champions without them. And yeah, you could say that now he's becoming the 2020. He's now becoming a two-time MVP in his entire tournament. Actually, he was MVP of the finals, not the entire tournament. In 2023. But you could say that Zeus is now becoming the most established top laner in the world right now. And finally, you can say that Zeus and Gumayusi kind of justified them leaving T1, in my opinion, of course, by doing this. So it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant for this entire team. So that is my thoughts on this series. And I know you want me to say like gameplay and drafting, but this is gonna be like mostly my thoughts about this whole thing. Maybe it's gonna be like how I speak in the moment, of course, and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, it's time for me to give you the stats. It's time to give you the stats. So for this BLG Hanoi Live Grand Final Extravaganza, um, Here are the numbers. Kanavi in game one on the Lee Sin, and it was brilliant on the Lee Sin. 8, 4, and 12, 5 KDA, 18 kill participation, and 23.1k damage. For the second game on Shen, 3, 4, 15, 4.5 KDA, 64 kill participation at 7.9 kill K damage. Game 3, gone to Shun on Nocturne, 3, 1, and 10, 13 KDA, 65 kill participation, 16.5k damage. And then Zeus stole the show. Swain first off, 8, 3, and 9, 5.7 KDA, 61 kill participation, 27.8k damage. Then on the Dr. Mundo. Now I know what you're thinking. Okay, the rest of the team did well, but once Dr. Mundo got really tanky on top, and the mistakes for probably like some of the lane in phase, of course, it was over. Once Mundo got absolutely tanky, I mean, the only way you got to do it is just kill the team around him, and you'll be fine. Which that was what BLG did. BLG did, but it was kind of like it was just too much for them to overcome. Too much early game snowballing from Hunter Life Esports to overcome, and that was their downfall. But he was instrumental. 4, 1, and 5, 9 KDA, 43 kill participation, and 36.7k damage. My 3 stars of the series were Gumi Yusi, 26, 19, 36, 65 kill participation, and 156.3k damage. The Light on the support 7, 17, 67. 4.4 KDA, 77 kill participation at 32.8k damage. And Zeus, who by the way was named tournament MVP, 19, 23, 33, 2.3 KDA, 54 kill participation on 124.6k damage. And my team of the series, I normally have to give it to a player, but I realized I do not think any player did. I think any player did fine in probably those 2 games they've won. But in terms of my team of the series, I go with BLG's draft in early game woes, all the players underperformance, and the BLG Golden Road kind of ruined because of that loss. Although you could say that I think the Golden Road is really harder anyways. Yeah, just it was never going to happen anyways. But you can hear it from Sam and Nymera's voice after the game. And by the way, the LPL casters, the disappointment of the fact that BLG did not do well and the Golden Road being ruined, and the fact that they needed this for the LPL to like being thrived, of course. And yes, and he's disappointed, but also proud of the Hana Life Esports incredible story. That you have to understand that this season they were bottom of their standings, mostly the fault of the other teams, of course, and sometimes their own. But they were bottom of the LCK standings in the first split, of course. And then for them to bounce back to be one of the most dominant teams in LCK, and although they were shaky in some parts, I have them still as the number 1 team or number 2 team in my preseason rankings, finishing as top dogs in the MSI. And I was justified. Thank goodness I was justified. The 2 best teams in the tournament played a 5-game series, and the best team won on that day. And you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm literally okay with that. And right now, it makes the rest of the entire tournament feel wide open right now. Feeling absolutely wide open. Because if you wanted to set the scene, let's just set the scene. You got BLG and Hot Life Esports being like one or two best team, number 1 and number 2 best team in the world. You got Genji still have to try to figure out, and maybe trying to win worlds, because I think they're trying to do the T1 route of like, fail miserably but still win worlds. Same thing with T1, of course. They got to bounce back, of course, and do something. Over the LEC, G2 are still the reigning dominant kings, but with the Dylan Falco news now being spreaded out and Perks being the coach, how will this affect G2 in many ways? Are G2 going to be the same dominant team, or will Lion and MCoy and Carmen Corp be good enough to just capitalize on G2's fallacies? And also, will the other LEC teams trying to catch up? For the LCS, it's pretty much like Lion are still there, but when they playing so many games, of course, their fatigue is going to show up. Of course, can one of Team Liquid or FlyQuest catch up? Will Cloud9 finally make an international tournament after so many years? or will the Sentinels and a brand new team can show up and just improve themselves? CB you can say the Fury are still the top dog, but Lost are looking decently, of course. Red Cannons trying to like erase how the last season ended, of course. Will they be good enough, of course? And then, of course, you got Vietnam or the LCP. And I believe that you can say that Team Secret Wells are head and shoulders above the rest. But will the other team, of course, will Deep Cross Gaming advancing be a fluke? Will GAM being back to being their best? Will CFO, who have been falling off, of course, be back? There are so many questions that's going to be answered between now and Worlds that's taking place in North America in a couple of months. There's going to be so much questions. For now, the only answer that is in there is Hollow Life Esports are now top of the MSI tree for this year, and that also means that Zeka and Zeus are the only players to win the International Grand Slam, which is first Dan, MSI, and Worlds. And the funny thing about it is Zeka did it all in his first appearance in each one. In each one. That is wild. He did it in 2022 Worlds with the Magical DRX team when people don't even know about him. We know this guy from like a decent good team in VG Gaming from LPL. We don't know much about Zika in 2022 Worlds, and then he popped the hell off. He probably like I think you can say that he was the reason why DRX won Worlds. Now that we can see Zeka as one of the best mid laners in the world right now, it makes the 2022 DRX run all the more incredible. And I will have to explain that. I will explain that in my Road to Worlds kind of thing, of course. I will explain that in my Road to Worlds thing. Yeah. And that will come soon, of course. But now you can say that Zeka is probably one of the best mid laners in the world right now. Not saying Chovy or Knight levels of good, but you can say that he's the third best right now, based on the performance. And Zeus, by the way, also justifying his T1 leaving and now becoming like one of the best top laners in the world. And now he's won a Grand Slam title. And now it puts Hunter Life Esports in the conversation of like, ooh, are they going to win Worlds or not? Because I think, Hunter Life Esports have been pretty good the last couple of years, but never be like, oh, they are the top dog. What does this MSI win is going to do to them? It's going to make them as top dogs going into Worlds, of course. And I cannot wait for everything they've gone through. I cannot wait. So, yeah, I think that concludes my recapping of this entire series and also recapping MSI 2026. It's been a wild one, an absolute wild one, to say the least. I want to thank Mr. Poro for the recaps. I want to thank so many people for watching and all kinds of stuff. And of course, tomorrow we'll have the superlatives of all the things that is MSI, of course, and then we close out MSI, of course, with the best of the best, the worst of the worst, and that is it. So, anyways, thank you all for watching. I know this is a little scuff one. I know this is a little scuff, but it is what it is. It's the final day. It's kind of like the final day of school. Nothing too much grand happening, so you just gotta dilly dally and do all the kind of stuff. So, anyways, thank you all for watching. You like, comment, subscribe, drink water, get your pets neuters, love each other, and grow some trees and all kind of stuff. And I will see you all tomorrow for the superlatives, but also after MSI, I will see you soon. Peace out, and thank you, MSI 2026, for all the madness.